In this video, I'm going to break down how I'd get a graduate role at a Big 4 in 2025. The market is more competitive than ever, but if you follow these steps, you'll drastically improve your chances of securing an offer the right way. If you're new here, hi, my name is Abiha, and I landed my Big 4 offer in just 13 applications in a tech consultancy role with a biomedical science degree. And what I do right now is that I currently help students break into corporate roles. Now, some of these principles you may have heard before, but landing a Big 4 role in this market, it's more about how you frame yourself correctly. So let's start with principle number 1. It's all about writing an amazing application. Now, this might seem obvious at first. I mean, every single person applying to a Big 4 usually has a put together CV, right? But you'd be surprised at just how many people don't have it correctly optimized. Look, I already have a dedicated video on this topic, but from a high level, there's 4 main principles that you need to adhere to. And if you haven't already spent hours on your application trying to get this right, you need to drop everything and do it right now. So the first thing you need to do is to use a professional template that passes ATS, and ATS is known as Applicant Tracking Systems. You need to avoid any fancy formatting. Look, from time to time, I'll see people who have included pictures of themselves, graphics, colors, and some weird formatting in their CV that just isn't even required. Look, for the most part, these are completely unnecessary and they take away from the substance of your application. The second thing is you want to make sure you're leading with commercial awareness. Yes, you're a student. Yes, you probably don't have much experience like I didn't either. But whatever experience you do have, you need to pump it up and make it as commercially relevant as possible. Yes, grades do matter to a certain extent, but companies are more so going to be looking at your commercial awareness and your transferable skill sets, which you need to include. Look, I see a lot of people who have societies, volunteering, part-time jobs and internships on their CVs, which obviously are all great. But the most important part out of any of this is showing that you understand real business impact. It's all about framing something simple, like retail experience, into demonstrating consultancy skills if that's the role you're applying for. Now, you're probably thinking, Abiha, what if I don't have any commercial experience? That's absolutely fine. You still need to tie it in and make it relevant with transferable skills. Currently, I'm working in my mentoring program with a student, and she didn't really have any business experience when we first met, like I didn't either. So I told her to join her university society and to lead a project there, because that immediately moves her application to the next level that she needs. So the thing is, when you're actually filling out these applications, you need to make sure that you're using power verbs and commercial metrics. So what do I mean by this? So power verbs include things like delivered X results, generated Y improvement, and you always want numbers. Increase engagement by 50%, managed a budget of £100, led a team of 15 people. This shows that you are ready to bring impact and real-world experience to the role that you're applying for. So principle number 2 is mastering the new assessment center format. Again, this might seem obvious, but you're going to be surprised by what you hear. Most people think that getting through the assessment center is about memorizing the perfect constructed answers and being the loudest in all the group assessments. Literally almost every student I've spoken to, they look me in the eye or they text me on DM and they say, do I actually need to prepare for the group assessment? I'm just naturally good with people. And that's exactly why they fail. There's a few key aspects for assessment centers that you need to know, and these differ from person to person. And the first one is you need to start preparing immediately. There's literally no sense in waiting whatsoever. Even if you haven't even submitted applications yet, assessment centers take months to prepare for because you need to be confident when it comes to answering these interview questions. You need to be prepared for anything that may be thrown your way. And you need to be prepared for the group assessments and being able to communicate properly with other people without coming across as too overwhelming, without coming across as too overpowering. And again, not being too quiet. So back in the day before I got my Big 4 offer, I had never done a corporate interview or assessment center before, so I had no idea how to even approach it. I didn't know how to structure the answers properly. I didn't know how to come across in the group assessment. I didn't even know how to come across in the most desirable way that they wanted. I've said it before, but preparing for your assessment centers is like going to the gym for commercial awareness. You need to keep building your knowledge through daily news about the company's firms, the company's values, the impact they're creating, their missions. You need to understand their business cases, what they're using in their day-to-day business, have a basic understanding of the role, and you need to practice how to structurally think properly. Now, another mistake people make with assessment centers is they don't know which part to focus on. You need to focus on the elements that actually matter, the ones that will determine your success and the one that will hand you an offer. So there's this principle you may have heard of before that's called the 80-20 rule. And in Big 4 assessment centers, 20% of what you prepare for will actually credit to 80% of your success. What I found after analyzing hundreds of students, and in particular the successful candidate, is that the highest impact areas are often commercial awareness, group exercise leadership, and structured communication. That's pretty much it. Just think about it for a second. Out of all the dozens of areas you could prepare for, if you just focus on these 3 things, it will contribute to the 80% of your success in any assessment center. I bet these are some areas that you've actually been rejected in before, which has led to a failed application. And you need to trust me because I've done loads of assessment centers and I've helped other students the exact same thing, and these are the 3 most common things that I have identified that will contribute to your success. It's always down to these core areas. So principle number 3 is all about timing. And what do I mean by that? When is the best time to prepare for these Big 4 applications and actually submit the applications. And unfortunately, the best time is actually earlier than you think. The best time to secure or start applying, for these Big Four graduate roles is around the September to October mark. That's literally when the peak of hiring happens, and that's when everyone's putting their foot forward to, try and secure an offer. But even though it's competitive during this period, you still have time. I know people who just had their final round interviews last week. I know people who are getting Big Four offers right now, and you need to learn from my mistake. I started applying in the March of the year I was graduating, which meant that I got my offer literally 2 months before graduation. Don't make that mistake, because you need to give yourself a buffer period. You need to give yourself time in case you get rejections or in case your applications don't proceed. You need time to assess what's really going wrong. So my advice to you is to apply as early as possible, because this is going to give you the upper hand. The last factor depends where you are at in your journey. If you're a first year student and you don't really have much professional experience, don't even start looking at graduate roles right now, because it's completely pointless. Here's what I would do instead if I were in your position. I'd go in LinkedIn, Google, Bright Network, any of these websites that show roles, and I'd search for Big Four spring weeks. And what I'd do, I'd make a list of every single Insight program that's available. These programs are literally designed for first years. But here's the thing that no one tells you. They're actually pipelines into summer internships, which if you are also successful at, you will secure a graduate offer through these. So it's literally like a cheat code. It's a literal fast track pass into a graduate role. If you're a second or a final year student with around one internship or some experience, your strategy needs to be completely different. As a starting point, obviously only as a starting point, I'd go onto this website called Bright Network or even Milk Round. They compile all the updated graduate roles on this website and they tell you when the application deadlines are, they give you the job descriptions and everything you need to know. But crucially, I wouldn't just make my way down the list and apply to every single application that's there. Look, at the end of the day, getting into the Big Four isn't about having the perfect grades or, having the most amount of referrals, or even coming from a target university. I'm living proof. I got in with a 2-1 degree. I didn't have the best A-levels. I also came from a non-target university. It wasn't a Russell group, but I used these exact principles to stand out, which led me to get my Big Four offer in under 13 applications with late application. If you follow everything in this video, you'll have a solid shot at landing a Big Four offer. So make sure you subscribe for more, but I have another secret for you. If you want to almost guarantee your success, I recently launched my Job Accelerator, which is introducing the first cohort of students. This program is all about me helping you secure a Big Four offer or any corporate role, working with you on your applications, your interviews, creating a standout CV, assessment center preparation. If you want to join the Accelerator and work with me on directly achieving your goals, make sure you check the link in my description, and we can see if the program is a great fit for you. But in the meantime, thank you for watching this video. Make sure you subscribe, and in the next one I'll be dropping loads more source, so see you then.